episode of Modern Greaser, AMMCO wanted to charge me $2,500 to fix the AC on, not this, but my 4Runner. But who wants to look at a 4Runner? So you're looking at this. But they wanted to charge me $2,500 to put a new compressor, a new evaporator, the whole new condenser, everything, pull the dash out. And I'm like, something's fishy about this. That's what you get for bringing it in for a free inspection. But I fixed it for free because all I had to do is remove the dust off the internal sensor on the inside of the car. And it was 3 volts in 5 minutes, and you can do it to basically any car out there. So I'm gonna tell you how quick and easy it is. My car's got ice cold AC. Cleaning this simple piece of your AC system may save you $2,500 like it did for me. And all you have to do is spit on it. I literally spit on a paper towel and cleaned off the sensor.
So I think I'm gonna do like the 1950s mom where she fixes your hair. Kind of like lick, or when they got something dirty on your face and just lick it. I think my spit will be good.
And it worked perfectly. And I saved $2,500. So you can do the same. It's on every vehicle that has working air conditioning for the most part. So check this first before doing anything. Don't even go buy the can of refrigerant stuff. Check and make sure your sensor's dusty. And I'm gonna tell you all about it on this action-packed episode of Modern Greaser. Have you ever wondered what those mysterious little grates are in the dash of your car? Perhaps a microphone for the government to listen in. No, of course it's not that. That's why we have Alexa and Google Home and our smartphones. They do that for us. These mysterious grates do something way more fantastic than housing microphones for the government to listen in to us. Did I mention that soap is a government plot? It is. Don't use it. The component that hides behind these mysterious grates can make your AC function or not function. And it's really easy to fix. So your AC system pulls air past the sensor behind this grate, and it will tell the compressor to turn on or off. So if it gets dusty, it's gonna shut your compressor off, which means it's gonna get hot in your car. So as long as you clean that, you can save yourself a costly AC repair bill. So for 100% free, F-R-E-E, yes, I can spell that word. I pulled down my dash, and oh, is there a sensor under there? Wait, is it dirty because this vehicle has 165,000 miles? Wait, I can spit on a paper towel and clean it off and I fix my AC? Wait, what, you can take that $2,500 bill and stick it where the sun don't shine? Oh, because it's a giant scam and that wouldn't have fixed it anyways? Weird. Well, that's what we do here on Modern Greaser. We get greasy with modern things, which is AC. But we like cool things, which is why I'm not standing in front of a 4Runner, because remember, don't forget it, kids, that's boring. This is exactly what I'm talking about right there. Free AC check. So I thought, well, what's there in the free? So I brought it in, and it turns out it wasn't gonna be free. So always beware of places that are gonna say that it's free, because it's not gonna be that case. So since I've purchased a 4Runner, it's had cold air. Not really, it's been basically lukewarm. And everybody riding with me is like, dude, what's up with your air? It's kind of like moist and gross. And I'm like, oh no, and you know, I bought one of those cans for 12 bucks at Walmart, put it on there, and it said that it was full. Well, those cans that you get from Walmart and places like that only checks one side of your air conditioning. There's a high and a low pressure side. So if you did the same thing with their air conditioner and you hooked up one of those bottles and checked it, don't stop there. There's hope for you yet. It doesn't mean you have an issue with it. You have to check both the low and high pressure side and make sure that your compressor is working and kind of deduce what the problem is from there. So after bringing my car in, I got a phone call from AMMCO and they gave me the bad news. They're like, your compressor's bad, it's not really working, and this and this and that, and the evaporator's up underneath the dash. In order to get the evaporator, you gotta pull all the dash out. Well, I'm not afraid to pull the dash out. So I'm like, there's gotta be an easier way. I can buy all the parts brand new for that AC system for $500. So what am I paying money for? I can put a compressor on for $150. So if that's the issue, why don't I put that on? I get it, to do it right, there's gonna be metal shavings up in the evaporator, yada, yada, yada. But at that much mileage, if I have to put one on in a year for 150 bucks, that's still way cheaper. That's not even the tax on doing the entire job. So really consider and weigh out your pros and cons. But before you do that, fix your stupid AC for free. So I bring my car to my coworker who's super smart with AC, and you can actually vacuum out your AC for $8. There's a little part they sell at Harbor Freight. You can vacuum it out with an air compressor, or you can bring it to the shop, have them vacuum it out. You can work on it, go back and have it recharged. It's gonna save you a ton of money because they might charge you $40 a pound for refrigerant at a shop, and it's $4 a can or a pound at Walmart. So what's there to lose in doing it yourself? Anyways, turns out my compressor was turning on and turning off and turning on and turning off. It should be running, especially when you first start it. That was clue number one. We also put a set of gauges on it. The high and the low side were perfect. The compressor was kicking on, doing what it was supposed to do correctly. So what was AMMCO wanting to charge me $2,500 for? That's what I'm calling out, and that I don't suggest you bring your car to AMMCO because they were going to charge me an arm and a leg for nothing. And if they would have gone through and done everything for $2,500, they still would have not fixed the problem. And I'll tell you how easy it is to fix it on your car for free, So the first step that we figured out is that we need to check AMMCO's work. Let's make sure that the compressor they said was bad is actually bad. So we hooked up the high and low pressure line, checked it, and the compressor is working just fine. Well, what else could it be? That's when we determined that the compressor was turning on and turning off, turning on, turning off. That means one of two things. One thing means that if it's turning on and turning off, the clutch is bad, and that's a quick and easy fix. You might as well just throw a whole compressor on instead of going through all the, doodads to put a new clutch on it. That could be one thing, and the other thing could be is it's getting turned off, 12 volts on, 12 volts off, 12 volts on, 12 volts off. So you need to determine which one it is. I went under there with a meter, I put a voltage meter on there, and it was losing power, gaining power, losing power, gaining power. So it meant the clutch was good, and for some reason it was signaling it to turn on and off. Why could that be? Oh, could it be a dusty, dirty sensor on the inside and I could fix this $2,500 problem for free? Yes, that's exactly what it means. So suck on that, AMMCO. Because if they didn't suck on it, they wouldn't realize that that wasn't even the problem anyways. They would have charged me $2,500 for all this crap, and then they still would have charged me another $500 to be like, it was a dusty sensor. But they probably would have been like, it's a broken sensor. So, no thanks. So if you have an issue with your AC, open the hood, turn it on, and as soon as it's cold and you get it fired up on a hot day, watch that compressor. It's spinning, and then it stops. If it's just spinning, might be a different story. But in my case, it was stopping, and that's how we determined it's eyes and ears, real quick and easy thing to figure out and fix. The other thing that I did on this, and this is your plan B, is that if that sensor doesn't fix the issue, is I actually wired a continuous power to the compressor so I can manually override it and turn it on. Now you have to hook up a relay because it's a lot of power, and I have an actual switch so you can make the AC compressor run all the time. Now I don't suggest this as a temporary fix, but I have that so I can totally override it and annex everything out. Another thing that you also need to know is if your system is working on low, medium, high, but not on auto, there is an ambient temp sensor in the front of most vehicles, and that could be the issue for why that's not working. So that's another telltale sign. So there's a couple different things. You can override it, have it on a switch. I don't suggest it, but I have that, and that was what I thought the first problem was. So I wired up a relay, found out which wire was getting the 12 volts, I started sending 12 volts to it. That's another plan B to keep in your back pocket, but not advisable.
All right, so right underneath the key, that is where the sensor is at. So this is a hose right here, and this is my sensor. So this plugs in the back of the hose, and the wire of the sensor goes in there. And then up underneath the dash, you can see here's the little grate. So I was trying to find a way to clean out this air vent, and I found the easiest way to clean this out was like if it was an old Nintendo game. I just blew it out, and it's like brand new. So you don't need an air compressor, just blow it out like a man or a woman would do. And so this is how it looks when it's all back together. The hose that's going in is there, the sensor is there. It's gonna clip back into my dash and put this all back together.
So one thing I'd like to address while we're on the topic of 4Runners is something that has baffled 4Runner owners for many of century. And by many of century, I mean thousands of years. What does this center console thing do? You open it up, and then there's this area. I mean, do you put your keys on there? But then you can't close it. It's not really big enough for your arm, so that doesn't make any sense. I guess you could display your business cards there. So since this center console on the 4Runner has baffled many of people, I'm gonna try find some creative ways of how we could actually use this because it's really uncomfortable for your arm. You can't really write anything in it. It's super small and awkward. You can't put a drink there. There's no real use, so we're gonna find a few uses today. The first use we're gonna look at is a carrot holder. Some 4Runner enthusiasts are convinced that it's a spaghetti sauce holder. Many suburban moms are convinced that it's a laundry detergent holder. The mechanically inclined say that it's a wrench holder. I personally like to store my trophies on it after I go to car shows. Thank you for joining us on yet another edition of Modern Greaser. Be sure to click that like button. If you like this video, be sure to click that like button. If you hated this video, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And like always, be sure to tune in to the upcoming episodes. This baby right here, it's gonna get pretty greasy here in an upcoming episode or two, so it should be pretty good, so make sure you stay tuned for that. I had the fire department donate some things for an upcoming episode, so that's kind of fun. And I'm actually gonna remove some things to operate this, so There's gonna be a lot in store. So anyways, now that I'm done with the fixing expensive things for free videos, we're gonna get on to the fun stuff.